Welcome
Oh, it's
back,
the music.
everybody.
Oh my lord, hold on here. Nick's camera is malfunctioning.
Way to go, guys. When we say go, that means it's time to go.
Okay, no.
Yeah, well,
pressed
you
the
said
wrong-
let's go at 9:30, and here we are at 9:50. So, zip it.
I also pressed a button on my camera to record, but it was after I accidentally took a picture with my thumb, and so my camera has
He's
to
got too many
process this.
pornos in that
Accident.
memory, bro.
It shoots 4K. It's got to wait a little bit.
Pornos in 4K, baby. Let's go.
Yikes. Welcome back, everybody, to this edition of No Place Like Homaha. I am your host, JD Wonder, alongside Nick Hendricks and Mikey Love. Gentlemen, as we're off to a hot start, let's talk some baseball, or in this case, I should say some football.
No.
Because there was some high-scoring games.
I think I'm going to
Oh,
stop.
yeah.
It was a good segue, and you just busted it.
I think I'm getting off this podcast.
You just did
After
it.
I see this top 25 ranking. I'm not. No.
Do you want to have another discussion?
No. No.
You just
I
want
would
to have a
like-
I don't
discussion?
even want to talk to anybody.
Is it now going to be a heated argument instead of just
No.
It
discussion?
will be.
No. It's going to be a murder on site.
Let's hit the let's hit
No.
the top 25
No,
first.
we
I do want to
can't. We have
hear.
to get talking, and then I gotta hold the breath. It's a whole ordeal. I'm not warmed up for this.
You're not ready for it. Okay, well we
No.
He's
can
gotta get him some
talk
prep
about
time.
some
Later,
scores.
bro.
Then, I feel like at the beginning of the show when we kind of started, we had a good layout, but now we kind of just bounce around. I mean, I'm all for it, but
I mean, we keep the lineup pretty steadfast. We're on at one
I'm
time,
pissed.
yeah, for sure.
but no, why?
Mikey's just mad.
No,
all
I'm
the
not
time.
talking about it.
Okay,
We're not fielding
Well-
questions at this time.
not really.
No.
All right. Well, then, if you're not fielding questions, we'll just go into fielding some scores from
No.
this last weekend.
Nothing. We're doing nothing.
We're doing something.
We're
We gotta do
canceling the
something.
podcast after this top 25.
Well, I think Mikey was wrong after last week, which is why he's upset because Tennessee
What?
ended up taking game one from Florida, 8-2, hopping into Saturday, the 23rd. Tennessee ends up, let's go back to it, winning 3-0 over Florida. And for the first time in 16 years, there was officially a full-on sweep in Gainesville, Florida. The Tennessee Volunteers pulled it off, getting a 6-4 win on Sunday. First time, like I said, in 16 years that the Gators have been swept at home. That's insane by
Wow.
anybody in SEC play.
That is crazy.
That's nuts.
But again, this
Wow.
Tennessee team is no joke. Bouncing back after just a little skid, like it wasn't even noticeable, honestly, on their record. The only reason it was noticeable is because they had 3 losses before that, and then they lost a few more. But now coming back and still showing why, they're one of the best teams in the country right now.
And they to me still have that a little bit overrated ranking on them just because they need to keep continuing that reign. And I've heard a lot of people talking about it, but still at the same time, you guys got a pitching staff who's going anywhere from 4 to 6 straight innings in a game and getting you that deep so your bullpen doesn't have to do much. I mean, taking a look at just, for example, Saturday's game, Blake Tidwell, he went 4 2/3, only gave up 2 hits, and he struck out 5. As in total, the pitching staff struck out 8 guys on the day. So, I mean, they had a very good weekend of pitching to a Gator offense who still is very lethal no matter what their record at 23-16 upholds for them. So,
Can we just rewind real quick? Did you just say Tennessee was overrated?
I've heard a lot of people actually say it, and I'm not
They
backing on it.
literally.
Was
What?
a lot of people just you?
What?
Yeah.
No, I've heard like
What?
4 people. I've heard 4 people think they are.
You said 4
I'm
people?
not. I'm thinking Tennessee might be the real freaking deal, and they're going to come into the SEC tournament and sweep it out.
The funny thing is there's teams like this every year who are the real deal. They make this to Omaha, and then they are.
And then they choke it out,
shit the
crap
bed.
the bed,
They-
yeah.
They shit the
Mhm.
bed.
AKA Arkansas was that team because Oregon State never.
Oh,
should've
they
been
didn't even make it to Omaha that year, though.
That was last year.
Are you
wasn't
talking
it? Or
about-
2 years ago?
there. Oh no! I
Yeah,
was talking
last
about
year they got beat in Super
When they had
Regionals.
Cobb?
Are you
Well,
talking
last
about the
year,
year? You're still bringing up the year that they missed a foul fly ball.
I'm bringing up 18
Oh,
because
my
they were still
goodness.
the top favorite in 2018, and they ended up losing.
They were the favorite last year too.
They were.
number 1 seed overall, right?
Yep.
or something like that, and they
In
went
the
into it. And that
nation.
NC State team came in and laid it on them.
Without
NC
Tommy
State.
Tanks.
Yeah, without Tommy Tanks.
Without Tommy
NC State
Tanks.
had a vengeance. Tommy Tanks hit a couple more home runs this last weekend, though.
Yeah,
Well,
we
you
also
think
have
that's impressive? Well, I'm talking.
Okay.
I have something to say now.
How I missed the back seat.
The disrespectful Iona, whatever they're called,
Gale.
won a series.
No!
Oh, clap
Yes.
it up. Clap it up, boys. Oh, my goodness.
But let's knock your claps down because they did get ran through by Rutgers.
Okay, but Rutgers
Well,
is doing well this
yeah.
season, though.
Yeah, so
But to
Rutgers
take a
isn't
series
ranked.
after losing by this amount, a dub is a dub.
Well,
Yep.
That's point. And a series win is a series
Exactly.
win for them. Uh-huh.
4-1 against Quinnipiac.
No words. No words.
6-1 against Quinnipiac, and then 10-6 loss on Sunday. So they took 2 out of 3.
It's a start. They get the momentum rolling right at this point.
Their
Pencil them
next
in for coming to the CWS.
Oh, man.
Regional bid. Regional bid.
Their next series is against Marist, the Red Foxes, whose logo honestly kind of slaps.
Honestly, didn't ask.
I love how the burp was before that, too. Really just sold me on it.
Well, it was an interesting logo. I had never seen something like that, so I clicked on their website, and now we're looking at it. They got a water polo team.
Yes, they better be top
Underwater
tier.
basket waving, too.
Who's this Hostra?
Oh,
Who's
that's lame.
Hostra? I've never heard of this school.
I don't know.
Hostra?
Yeah, they got some weird teams in this conference.
Elon has his own school. Just a little heads up.
It's not. Nope. That's not it.
It's
What are you
literally
looking at?
called-
I know what
it's
you're
literally
talking
called
about.
Elon.
It's not
literally
Elon
called
Musk.
Elon.
It's not Elon.
I didn't say Elon Musk. I just said Elon.
Well, they're gonna have to in 2 weeks deal with a
My fault
guy
for assuming.
from
It's not my fault.
Iona's gonna have to deal with a guy from Siena in 2 weeks, named by Ben Siller. He punched out 19 guys.
The actor?
What? No.
Not Ben Stiller.
Siller. Not Stiller. Siller.
Close enough.
Most in a single game this season so far. 19 Ks for the Siena. We're gonna get this. We're looking at it here.
So
It looks
you're
like-
looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I am looking at it. It looks like the St. Bernards. That's gonna be wrong, but give me a.
Of course, I got
Well,
it.
okay, we're looking at it. Keep talking. I can't
Sometime
find what the name of their dang mascot is.
Nope. It's all you, man. You got this.
No, okay. Well, they're 9-16 on the
I
year.
don't want to be anything other than what I've been.
Okay, we're still looking.
Karaoke.
This is gonna take us a
No,
minute.
you're looking.
The Saints. That's okay. It's short for St. Bernards. It's the Saints. You're welcome. Sorry. That
How
took
do you know
forever.
it's short for St. Bernard? Does it say that on their website?
Their mascot is a
Says
St. Bernard,
next to
Mikey.
the says
How do you
Saints and
know,
then it says
bro?
in
They
parentheses
did Old
short for
Dominion's
St.
called the
Bernards.
Monarchs, and they got a goddamn lion.
It's because Monarch
It's
is
got a
royalty.
crown on it.
Stop. No,
I'm showing the camera right now. It's
No.
literally a St. Bernard.
He said no.
no,
Mikey,
stop,
Old Dominion
stop.
came out of the history of
Stop.
Old England.
Didn't ask. Old Dominion will be referred to as the Lions from now on. Thank you.
No.
Yes.
Speaking of Old Dominion, I believe now the tank leader is from Old Dominion.
Yeah, he is.
Yes.
The Old Dominion
21
Lions.
tankers on the season.
I don't think it's the Old Dominion Lions, Mikey, and I
I
don't think they're in the
Don't
top
think I
25.
asked.
Goodness.
Yeah, but you know who fucking is?
Who?
Maryland, Georgia
Yep.
Southern, Wofford? No. No. Why is Texas A&M back? Why is Southern Miss top 5? Who makes these?
Southern Miss is top 5 because they're 38-2, bud.
I don't care. Gonzaga literally lost the game to St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's was ranked last week, but I don't care. I don't care.
So angry.
Yes, I'm fuming.
He's so
I
heated.
am absolutely upset right now.
So
This Wofford team's 30-10, bro.
What's Old Dominion's record?
Don't care. Rutgers is
Don't
32 and
care.
9, bro.
He brings up a record.
They're 28 and 10.
His justification is just, I want Old Dominion.
Let's take a look at
do we want to list off the top 25 right now?
No.
Hold on, let's just do it. Let's do it in a second here.
Might
I'm
as well
looking
just-
up the Old Dominion.
Mikey, we got
Old Dominion is 28 and 10.
I already answered that.
Yeah, you didn't. You said you don't care.
Or 28 and 10,
Open
and they
your
got
fucking
a
ears. I said they were 28 and 10. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Eat my ass.
beat Florida Atlantic last
Ooh.
Friday 14-0, and then beat them 11-7 on Saturday. Ended up losing the third game of the series 5-4 on Sunday. The midweek game against Virginia tomorrow night has been canceled.
Bro,
They got- They got Louisiana
So
Tech coming up on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that's going to be in Norfolk, Virginia.
why is Georgia Southern in there?
All right, Nick. Well,
I'm
let's
done
go-
talking
let's
on the
go ahead
podcast.
and-
The
All right.
podcast
Stop the top
is ridiculous.
25.
I'm done.
So, everybody, it's that grand old
No.
time where we list it off. We will start
Nope.
with number one. Tennessee Volunteers continuing to lead for this. I think this entire month, Tennessee has been there. Oregon State rounds out number 2. Miami hops back into 3
Jeez.
after being at
Guys, they
5.
didn't make it to 5.
Yeah, I know. Southern Miss, Southern Miss, like Mikey said, hops into the top 5 at 4.
Unbelievable.
Arkansas 5, Stanford 6, Virginia Tech 7, Oklahoma State 8, Texas Tech and Texas still at 9 and 10, Virginia 11, Gonzaga at 12, UCLA 13, Georgia, the Bulldogs are at 14, UConn hops up to 15, stays at 15 with a 32-8 record, Louisville 16, Texas State stays at 17, Notre Dame stays, and Auburn stay at 18 and 19 as well. TCU goes up 1 spot. Texas A&M hops back into the rings for the first time in a while. LSU comes in at 22. Maryland at 23. Georgia Southern comes in at 24. And Wofford, for the first time this season, comes up into number 25. The Terriers are 30 and 10. Teams that dropped out, Dallas Baptist and the Oregon Ducks.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
so
my
big.
patience.
And my patience.
Oregon dropped a big weekend to Washington State.
Is Washington State ranked?
Washington State was not ranked, but they won the game on Friday 8-7, lost the rest 2 games of the series, 10-8 on Saturday, and then Sunday 8-7. They got Oregon State coming up in a midweek game on Tuesday, and then they have Cal coming up this weekend, do the Ducks. So Pac-12 schedule continuing to stay headstrong for Oregon, looking to bounce back into it. They close out the series for the season against Arizona before going into the conference tournament.
Can we play that song "I'm Upset" by Drake?
No.
You
over
can on your
like
own
the
time.
entire pod. Now I'll play it right now if I want.
The one game that I wanted to look at was on Saturday. Just talking about that Texas State team. They beat the absolute doors off of Little Rock, 30-4.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not the only football score we had on that day. Like UC Irvine and Kansas State was 16-7. Washington State and Oregon, like you talked about, 10-8. Belmont beat up on Purdue 11-1.
17-2 Miami.
Yeah, 17-2 Miami.
Yeah. There was a UCF
20
Washington. Or sorry, go for it.
Yeah, 13-9 for Maryland and Illinois. 15-10 NC State and Louisville. 21-3 Notre Dame beat up on Wake Forest. 16-13.
Or 16-12 for UCF Washington State or Wichita State. I don't know why I keep saying Wash U.
And 16-13 was Michigan and Ohio State. 13-4. Again, Texas beat up on Baylor.
Did you get Notre Dame Wake Forest 21-3?
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, man.
There you go.
But there's
Jacksonville State.
Do you think that it's just this weekend was just the hitters? Like, obviously, we have seen some good hitting so far, but do you think this weekend was like, okay, now the hitting is like we're getting there, or it could be a little bit of wind, but is it more so the pitching has kind of been seen, or is feeling a little tired, kind of near the stretch?
I'm going to kind of agree with Mikey. The weather's been starting to get a little bit nicer. Creighton on Saturday, they had a 14-1 win against Seton Hall as well in Omaha, and I know the wind was howling throughout the Midwest. The weather, though, is getting so much nicer, so the ball's starting to carry once that warm summer air gets in here. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Josh, as well. Pitchers are starting to get seen. All your bigger arms are starting to get just a little bit tired in that middle season form. They'll start bouncing back up once the tournament comes around. Big conference schedules always do this to teams. Sometimes there's big runs and big games that get allowed, but I think we'll start seeing it slow down in the next 2 weeks here. We might have one more big weekend on that day 2, Friday or Saturday, but I think so far pitching has just been getting a little tired.
We got
Mikey, your
3
thoughts?
weekends left? We got 3 weekends left, right?
Yeah, 3 or
like
4
For the conference.
before
tournament?
conference.
I don't know, dude. I'm just scrolling through this. There was a 24-20 score. It was
Where?
Eastern Illinois and Murray State.
Mm.
And then Tennessee Tech and Tennessee Martin 24-17.
Good
I bet
gosh.
that was just, if you bet on those games, you probably didn't win the over-under. But
Oh,
I don't know, dude. It's hard to tell because hitters are so streaky and pitchers are so streaky.
mm-hmm.
This is the
We're talking
game.
about some pitching though. We've seen 2 perfect games this season. Pitcher from Grambling State. They both were 7 innings, but we kind of discussed before the podcast where it's like a perfect game is a perfect game. Like for you to even get past 3 innings, like see a lineup one time through and have no hits off you or no walks or anything, it's crazy.
And then the
do we have
second
those,
perfect.
Yeah. Do we have those?
Yeah, the second perfect game came from it was Fairfield University. Jake Noville, or I think Novilo.
You can do this.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Novilo. He went 7 innings, 0 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, and then he had 4 Ks. And then throw it back down to Grambling State, Samar Page. He had 7 innings pitched as well, no runs, no hits, no walks, 13 Ks on the day. And then also, it wasn't a full perfect game, but Vanderbilt, and I did have the stat pulled up, but I no longer do. Let me pull that back up. But Vanderbilt on Saturday against Kentucky, they had a combined no-no, which is pretty impressive as well. I mean, you flip out 2 straight pitchers that are able to go no hits back to back. I mean, that is still pretty impressive. That was on Friday night.
Oh, that's not the game where they had the combined no-no and then they lost it on a triple, was it?
No,
they had was that in the
They
MLB?
finished the game.
That was in the MLB. They had a combined no-no. Chris McEvlin, he went 7 innings pitched. He had no hits, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts, and then Christian Little came into the game, pitched the last 2 innings. He had 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, 13 in total, 27 up, 27 down, no hits.
It's so
for
interesting to hear you list those strikeouts, and the first one that you listed, the guy only had 4.
4 strikeouts. So that's a stellar defense you got behind you. Trust your guys.
You think they take a lot of jeebs in practice?
Something
Probably.
like
that.
I mean, yeah, think about it. You have only 4 Ks for a perfect game. That's insane.
For 7 innings, yeah.
Yeah, and
Just
there's no
21
other
outs.
there's no other highlights that I've seen so far from that second perfect game. But I mean, you got to have Adam. You guys remember? I forget who it was for back with the White Sox, but when Adam Eaton made a diving catch to say in the outfield to save a no-no, that was pretty impressive. You got to have defense like that all dang day.
For sure. And especially like to just continue to like when you're getting those Ks, you know, those are nice, but like to be up there and only throw 4 strikeouts, so then you're still putting the ball in the zone, obviously, because there's no walks. Like that's a lot of trust in your guys.
I think
be like,
that's
I
more
can just throw it.
The fact that you don't have a lot of Ks.
I would agree.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, it means you don't have your stuff.
Right, you're getting they're putting balls in play. Right.
I mean, I'd be curious to see if any of them were just tatered at people.
Just like a hot shot.
Yeah, or if there was just like a bunch of, unless maybe they just had all 10 slots of ESPN Top 10.
Well, and I mean, here's the thing though. I don't think there's 2 different meanings of not having your stuff. I think you can still throw a perfect game with 4 strikeouts and you still have your stuff, obviously, because guys might not be making solid contact off you.
Right, yeah, like he's a weak kind of contact guy. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, kind of like Kyle Hendricks is. He's a guy who doesn't throw
the Cubs.
Well, no, he just doesn't throw very hard, but he's just got great stuff to get around guys. And then you take a guy who probably wouldn't have all of his best stuff, and he can still come out just because he throws maybe 100-mile-an-hour fastball, and he can just blow that by guys until somebody times it up. But he doesn't have all his best stuff because he doesn't have any off-speed working for him.
Mhm.
So I feel like a guy who has 4 strikeouts, he still might have had his secondary pitches working for him. They might have just been double play material, or they might have been, or not double play material, but they might have been just ground ball material, or guys flaring off little pop flies between second and first and third and short. So, I mean, there's 2 different meanings behind that.
Exactly.
But Southern Miss also beat up on Rice this weekend on, what was that, Sunday. They had a 12-2 game. West Virginia beat Texas Tech on Sunday 15-4. Texas A&M. Arkansas loses the game on Sunday to Texas A&M 11-10 as well. That must have been an absolute dogfight.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sure.
College baseball is starting to get fun, boys. The SEC tournament's going
It's
to,
been
or all
fun.
the conference tournaments are going to kick off soon. I mean, the thing about this is there's so many more high-scoring games this year. It's ridiculous. And pitching has been incredible as well. I mean, you've got guys that are still in all these high-scoring games coming out and just absolutely lighting up the boards with strikeouts.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Speaking of lighting up the boards, though, Michigan did have a guy with 2 grand slams on the weekend.
Yes.
Good old
Didn't he have
Joe Stewart.
four home runs total, though?
He goes deep 3 times, including 2 grand slams.
Okay.
He had 11
11
RBIs.
RBIs,
And
yep.
once again, that is due to College Baseball Hub, where we get a lot of our stats from besides the website. So
That's
shout
where
out to College
you
Baseball
get a
Hub.
lot of your stats at.
I mean, hey, dude,
Quit
it's going to be
Look what I said in this.
I'm including
I
us because
Get
it's
the
the
most
podcast
up-to-date
that's on.
information. I don't know what you do.
I list off the top 25 really
goodness.
fast.
No, you
Sure.
don't, bro. I'd be no.
No,
My
denied.
goodness.
I'm done getting flustered.
Done getting flustered.
Today.
Well, we can throw it up to some games coming up this
Mhm.
weekend, or coming up this week as well,
This
which
week,
should
yeah.
be exciting. There's now, as I'm looking at Florida's schedule, just because I have it pulled up, they have after this week, they will have 3 more weekends of conference play. So the season should go up until the 21st. Conference tournament should start anywhere between the 24th to the 26th and run till the beginning of June. And then the regionals and super start. College World Series is the 6th or the 18th on through, I believe, the 26th of June.
Mm.
So kind of looking at the midweek games on Tuesday, Miami's got Stetson, 3rd-ranked team of the country, hosts the Hatters. Louisville's got Western Kentucky. Tennessee has Xavier. Arkansas has Central Arkansas.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State. What?
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
Oklahoma State's got Wichita State. I'll let you take over for a second.
Dallas Baptist has TCU. That'll be a good one. Ole Miss and Mississippi State are playing each other.
In a midweek?
Yeah, on Tuesday. Texas A&M, Sam
I'm not
Houston.
seeing that one.
Texas, UT Rio Grande. Kansas State and Nebraska. UNLV and Arizona State. UC Santa Barbara and USC will be good. UC Irvine and UCLA, Oregon and Oregon State.
I did see a crazy stat line from last weekend. I saw it on Twitter. Ole Miss in a game against Mississippi State this weekend opened up the first 4 pitches of the game with 3 nukes.
Jeez.
Like, how do you do that?
The ball hit the bat.
Well,
Something like
I mean,
that.
seriously though, that's some crazy stuff. I have never even heard of that.
That's just being on time and ready to go when you show up to the field, man.
They got their
Yeah,
front
no
foot down
kidding.
early, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Then looking at Wednesday, we also got Wofford. Was it Wofford? How do you pronounce it?
Wofford.
Wofford
It's
and Clemson.
definitely Wooford.
It's
Wofford.
not Wofford.
Bro, they're
It's
Sure.
the Wofford
Whatever.
Just
Terriers.
says
whatever.
Wofford. Wofford and Clemson. Liberty and North Carolina, both now out of the top 25. UConn and Yale. Virginia and George Mason. Kennesaw State.
Gingin.
That's what I
Words
just
are
heard. I
hard,
said
man.
Virginia.
Virginia. That's where Mikey's from.
Not even close.
Indiana and Illinois State. Yeah, we got some. James Madison, Virginia Tech will be pretty good. Penn State and West Virginia. Omaha, and
Gonzaga.
Nebraska again. Utah Valley actually got canceled.
Whoa.
Which one? Where's that at? Is it at? I think it's at Lincoln.
Probably at that one place,
Somewhere, right?
That's somewhere in
Midwest.
Nebraska. Yep.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Then starting on Thursday, we got Alabama, South Carolina, Texas A&M, Vanderbilt, Nevada, Arizona, and then it's going into the Friday series. Oregon State, Utah, UConn, Butler, Wofford, and Samford.
Yeah, Wofford.
There you go.
Boston College, Notre Dame, Omaha and Penn State, Michigan, Purdue, Virginia Tech, and Virginia, which will be a good series to watch. Miami and Georgia Tech, Clemson, Louisville, Rutgers, and Ohio State, Coastal Carolina and Georgia Southern.
Tennessee's got
Northwestern,
Auburn.
Maryland. Yep.
19 versus 1. That'll be a good game in Knoxville. Oklahoma State, Texas. That'll be a good series as well.
Kentucky and Florida.
Calling it now. Ole Miss is taking 2 from Arkansas.
Mikey's hot take of the week.
Yeah, baby. Fire take of
From
the week.
Kansas.
Pun intended.
No, Arkansas Ole Miss from Arkansas.
Oh, I thought he said Kansas. I don't know where I got Kansas from. Probably Arkansas.
I said Arkansas.
Okay, there it is. So I thought it was Kansas. I was like, so not a clean sweep of the Jayhawks? But okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Not a clean sweep. Yeah, we'll see.
South Alabama, Texas State.
Ow, my arm.
Texas A&M, Vanderbilt. Because Vanderbilt is no longer in the top 25, but I feel like
God.
No. That's been for a while, and that's kind of crazy that Corbin's Vanderbilt Commodores have not been in there, and with still as good of an offense as Vanderbilt has got, they've been struggling a little bit with the bullpen back half this year. So I mean, Vanderbilt is one of those teams that coming into the SEC tournament especially, but once regionals runs around, you can never count them out.
That would be hard though, with just how competitive the SEC is.
Oh my gosh! I mean,
you look at the top 25. You've got what? 1, 2, 3.
Tennessee, Auburn.
4. There's at least 4 teams in here.
6.
Oh, Auburn's in it.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, that's 5.
Well, Georgia and LSU take up 2.
LSU
Auburn,
6.
Tennessee take up 4.
It's
Arkansas
6.
is 5.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's 6 out of what? 12 teams I think there's in that conference.
Yeah, 12 to 13.
Right now,
That's
at
crazy.
least, until next year.
I mean, the Big 12 is also one of those conferences for baseball as well. And the Pac-12, this is where baseball shines up. Stanford's been incredible throughout the last couple of years.
What? 1?
No, they've got
2?
Texas Tech, Oklahoma State,
TCU
as well.
The Big 10 though. Big 10 doesn't have anybody in here except for Maryland.
No, Maryland has been impressive this year as well, though.
I feel like Rutgers should be in there. But
yeah, I feel like they'll get there eventually. It's just they need to have some definite sweeps.
Like a steady mix. Like you've got some non-Power 5 conferences in here.
Yep.
You got the mixes of you got the Pac-12, which normally is not known for its baseball, other than UCLA and
Stanford, Oregon State for the last couple of years. But I mean,
yeah, it's cool to see the ACC get involved when normally they're like a basketball, football kind of conference.
For sure.
I'd love to see more Big 10 in here, though.
Right. And I think that's the beauty of baseball, though, is that it really, like we've talked about on earlier podcasts, too, it's crazy the amount of talent that's spread out. It's not so much hey, the playoffs is going to be these 4 teams every year and maybe these other 2 who have also been there before.
Yeah.
But it's every year we get a new 8 teams that come to Omaha. It's never the exact same 8 teams.
Well, I think that's just because, football, you've got the same coaches and they coach the same way.
We got the same coach in baseball, too.
I'm saying the coaches, there's a bunch of the same philosophies throughout, football coaching. They bring in the same kind of talent. Whereas baseball, you've got so many variations of coaching, so many variations to win. Like there's just so many
Mhm.
ways to get things done. Rather
Well,
than
it's,
football,
it's
like
not
you
just that, but
have
you,
your
like,
assignment.
yeah, and you can't like just body a guy to win the game. Like if your team is obviously bigger and stronger, you'll win. But in
In
baseball,
football,
you have
yeah.
to get 27 outs, and you've got to face everybody. And with how hard guys are throwing now and all that kind of stuff, everybody has the ability to hit it out.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has the ability to change the momentum of a game at random points. Even if you hit a little squib, all of a sudden error, boom, guys on second somehow. Like it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you have
Yeah.
a higher number of guys as well who are starting to hit 98 to 100 plus
Mm-hmm.
as sophomores and juniors in college, as opposed to seniors and just hitting the major leagues. I mean, you've got a lot of guys who are starting to get some serious velo
Right.
and add a lot of movement to that pitch as well. So, I mean, that's a huge thing from keeping a round object from another round object to
Mhm.
send it 400 feet.
Right.
Well,
So,
even
if
go ahead, sorry.
keep going.
I didn't mean to cut. I mean, even just not even sophomores and juniors in college. Wasn't Hunter Green he didn't even go to college. He got
No.
drafted straight out of high school, right?
Hunter Green got, yeah.
And he was throwing hundreds. So it's just it's so
Yeah.
crazy to think of like an 18-year-old's arm who's not even fully developed is
Just
just
throwing absolute gas.
slinging that
Mhm.
thing.
It's shocking.
Right.
I throw 102. So
On MLB The Show, I know you do.
no, in
It's
my
a
dreams.
cap.
In my
Ah,
dreams.
size
So
of
it's
cap.
kind of cool.
I
Big
throw like
cap.
70 poo, but
I don't
I
even
can
think
I can
make it
attest
to
to that.
85
Josh
anymore.
says the 70 poo.
mhm.
He does have the nastiest ephus though.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
That's you, bro. So yeah, finishing some games over the weekend though. Texas Tech and Baylor will be playing. Georgia and LSU. I don't know if we brought that up.
Yep.
Iowa, Nebraska,
Oh God.
classic
Oh
rivalry.
boy.
We'll see how that one turns out. Arizona State, UCLA, and Stanford and Washington are some games on the coast.
Stanford
Did we
played
get
4
Virgi-
games this weekend.
Did we get
Talking about
Virginia Tech
Virginia-
as well?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
That'll
They
be a
don't have
good.
a- they
That'll
don't
be a
have
And
a
then
tough
time
Auburn
one.
and Tennessee too will be another big
Yeah.
SEC matchup.
They don't have a time set for the Virginia game.
No, they do not. But a lot of big games, and especially the one thing I'm excited for is just the last 2 weeks coming up. So like this last month is just going to be an absolute slugfest,
Mm-hmm.
as it always is. Because I mean, you'll have teams that take big slips within the next 3 weeks.
A lot of shuffling in the top 25.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you still got teams that are playing some non-conference games as well. At least non-conference series, trying to mix it up just a little bit because TCU has Florida State, and just kind of bouncing around here. I think that's one of the only teams that actually does this week. But I mean,
Can the top 10 be shaken up?
oh,
Maybe
that's
within
a good
itself,
question.
I don't know if anybody, maybe on like the edge, like if you have some 11 or 12 seeds, they could kind of bounce in and out with there.
But that's not top 10, silly goose.
No, but
I
I'm saying
think-
like get into the top 10 while the other ones drop out of the top 10.
So you think there can be shake up?
I
within
think
top 10?
in the lower seeding, like 7 to 10 range, maybe, but like I feel like the top 5 are pretty set unless
So
they
the-
hit a major skid.
I would disagree with you
Okay.
just with the fact
Ooh.
that I feel like if Southern Miss drops a series anywhere, they're
Okay,
kicking
I
them
can
out.
see
Yeah.
that. I
Just because
can
of
see
this
that.
year, they're not Power 5. So it's not like they're
Exactly.
playing the Tennessees every weekend, the
Yeah.
Vanderbilts. I don't even know what conference they're in off the top of my head. The Conference USA. Like even though they are 32-8, if they drop like a series to UAB, they got Old Dominion. They're gonna drop that one.
Oh boy.
It's just like that could be the biggest shake up within the top 5, I think.
Yeah. I think Georgia Tech has a chance to shake it up this week. They've got a Miami team coming in who's, like I said before, Miami is very young this year, but they've been hitting it around the yard. They're, as a team, hitting over 300. But Georgia Tech is one of those teams where they've been in and out of the top 25 this entire season, so I think they've got a chance to shake it up. I know the Oklahoma State-Texas series, that's going to be whoever wins that at least stays at 8 or moves up. I think Auburn, Tennessee is one to watch too. Auburn's going to come in as a dark horse to give Tennessee a little bit of run for their money. Louisville could be shaky as well. Otherwise, I do kind of agree with Josh. The top 10 is kind of on a lock, as you would somewhat say, unless baseball just happens to be weird this week and shake everything up. But the top 25 itself could get shaken up with a lot of big games. So,
Okay, but still looking at the top though, just like, would you think that like that Virginia team or Gonzaga or UCLA will kind of jump in there within that top 10?
I feel like there could be some mix-ups coming. I feel like UCLA definitely has the biggest potential. They've been kind of on an offensive tear so far this season, and as well as Virginia. I mean, they just have a very, very good offense, able to hit the ball kind of all around the yard. But I do agree that UCLA, or I do think, I shouldn't agree with myself. That's a little narcissistic. But just kind of looking at UCLA right now, they've been through a very, very busy Pac-12 schedule, and they've had the record to back it up. They've been in the rankings for the majority of the year. They're 27-12. They've got some big key games that have come through. They beat Texas this year. They've gotten a series win against Arizona, who's very good. UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos have been in the comments for a lot of college World Series appearances in the next couple of years. Oregon as well, they have a full sweep. Stanford, they only took one game out of there, but still a very competitive weekend, or they tried to make it a competitive weekend. It wasn't as good as they wanted to. UC Irvine coming up this week, and then they've got an Arizona State team who has also been normally a good top 25 team. And then to wrap out the year, they've got Washington, Cal State, Fullerton, Washington State for a series, and then they close it out against Oregon State. So, I mean, UCLA's got one of those schedules who their record shows, and they should be top 25 deserving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just looking at especially the Connecticut and Southern Miss, who have the exact same record. And do you think it's just strength of schedule for them that if both teams lost a series, they could both see a serious fall? Or do you think? Yeah, just go ahead.
I think Southern Miss has a lot more to lose. I mean, the Conference USA is a little bit different when it comes to, I believe, UConn, who I'm going to look it up here. They're in the Big East, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Or are they in Conference USA as well?
Nope.
What conference are they in?
Big East.
Oh, they are in the Big East?
Mm-hmm.
So they're controlling it. So, I mean, they have Creighton to deal with, but otherwise UConn has been just tearing it up in the Big East. So, taking a look at just kind of UConn's schedule, they've beaten Louisville once this year, so that's a big notable win. They beat USC when USC was ranked. Long Beach State, they took a loss to. Pepperdine, who's usually pretty good, they have beaten Pepperdine. Otherwise, just kind of throwing it around the rest of the yard. They don't have very notable wins, does UConn. They've got Creighton coming up in a couple of weeks here. And then looking at Southern Miss, they've got a big win against an SEC opponent, Mississippi State. Tulane, who was very good at the beginning of the year. Dallas Baptist, they dropped an entire series to. Another SEC opponent in Alabama, they got a 3-2 victory in a midweek. Ole Miss, another SEC opponent they got in a midweek. Tulane again. So, I mean, I think that Southern Miss has a little bit more of the strength of schedule when it comes to those SEC wins. It's just a matter of can they continue out the year. And I will agree with Mikey. Old Dominion being the offensive powerhouse that they are at the moment this year, they got to get through them. If they take that loss at any point in the year, I think they're done. Out of the top 25.
The record show that Nick and I disagreed on something.
Well, it's just the facts. I mean, they're stated right there. I mean, they've got a bunch of key SEC wins, but if they drop a series with a strength of schedule that doesn't have those, if you're going to still stay with the college football playoff kind of idealism that it seems a lot of college sports are I know that a lot of college sports are taking at the moment, it's you got to look. If you drop a conference series or if you drop a couple of games in your conference and you're not at that big stage, you drop a little bit farther. You've got more to lose.
Well, Alabama dropped some conference games in football and still made it. So,
okay, Alabama literally pays the NCAA to be where they are.
Whoa!
That's literally what I'm saying about all these top 25 teams, bro. Don't even
I
get me
think I'm not the only person.
All of them.
Yes, all of
Tennessee is overranked according to Nick and Mikey. All right,
why is Old Dominion not in there? Why is Rutgers not in there, bro? Why is Wofford in this?
Let's have a conversation.
You answered your question.
Have a conversation.
You answered your question earlier with
I don't
Rutgers.
even want to have a conversation anymore. I want to hurt somebody.
I
don't want to
Yikes.
hurt.
He's just
Full
kind of turned.
transparency.
Yeah.
I want to take
Thanks for making it clear.
what is the tractor? The thing called with the big circle, and it goes over cement?
Steamroller?
Yeah, I want to take that and go over a person.
Who?
determines the
Like
top
just
25.
a random person?
Whoever has a say in the top 25,
Yikes.
put them in front of me like a bowling pin, and let's see if I can get a strike.
Oh my gosh.
Throw 'em out.
But yeah, I think there are a lot of top 25 teams that could get shaken up. It's just a matter of when in the next 4 weeks. Like I said, we've talked about the SEC. They're just shaky all across the board when it comes to the last 2-3 weeks of the season, just because it is such a tough division. You got 2 top 25 matchups coming in this week with both teams ranked in the top 25. The Big 12 is another team or another kind of conference that gets mixed up in a lot of that. But for Southern Miss, they just got to keep winning. And I think if they do that, they could potentially host a regional. If they win out the conference, they host a regional. And you give them a top 20 or you give them a top 8 national seed, in my opinion. If they finish out the rest of the year and just got it on lock and they finish out right, they're a top 8 national seed.
Yeah, well, Old Dominion is top 25, and
In your heart. In your heart, they're
nope,
number 1.
in the factual statements, bro.
Go Monarchs.
Go Lions,
Go Lions, there it is,
dickhead.
yep.
Golly.
Is that all we got to discuss?
No.
I believe that's the majority of what we had discussed.
Okay. Before we kind of end today's pod, we kind of want to end on a serious note. We wanted to shout out Gonzaga. They had a loss on their coaching staff. Nick, you want to kind of give the details of that?
Yeah, so once again, stat comes off of multiple sources. College Baseball Hub is the biggest one that I found it on both Twitter and Instagram. Gonzaga's associate head coach, Danny Evans, passes away at the age of 41. He'd been dealing with a stage 4 battle with melanoma cancer. And he's been the coach with them since 2009, but that's kind of a big loss to the baseball community, as he's been with Gonzaga for a long time, as well as not only a coach, but he was a 4-year letter winner. So baseball world looks up at him and his family, but at the same time, it's just you don't hear about a lot of those stories, especially when it comes to baseball, unless it's professional. So I thought we would touch on one just a little bit. So
Absolutely.
But Gonzaga's got Loyola Marymount this week, and they're ranked 12th in the country. We've talked about them a lot, so it's relevant, and it's there.
Well, absolutely. I think it's always important to understand that there's a lot more that happens than just baseball. I mean, there's lives that, people are living outside of this, and, I think that he lived a good life, and, thoughts and prayers. You hate to say that, because personally we didn't know him or anything like that. We only know his effect on the Gonzaga baseball team, but again, just shout outs to his family, and I know a lot of people are there for them. So
go Zags, baby. But I think with that, on the rest of the note, I think that wraps up the week episode.
Yes, you can follow us on TikTok and Twitter at Homaha Pod. Obviously, since you are here at the No Place Like Homaha page, you should like and subscribe to your friends, family, people that are all watching this video over your shoulder, all that kind of good jazz. Let them know. Let them know out there.
What?
You never
Jump
know.
up that 6 subscriber fan base.
Yep, we got to get up there again, watch it multiple times.
Views have been going down, people. We need you up.
You can never get enough of Mikey Love. You know that for sure. I know I can't.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm excited.
Goated with the sauce,
excited.
baby.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you next week.
So welcome.